We are here at the Namm Show 2019. My name is Florentino. I'm the CEO of EnterTalk. We're the network broadcasting on our good friends Caffeine TV right now. I would love to talk to you folks, but we are having some data connection issues with being able to respond. So please save your questions. Enjoy the broadcast. I'm here with two incredibly influential people in the music industry. To my left, who is actually going to be hosting the segment, we have the famed bassist of Cab. He's played with everybody in jazz, anybody you can think of, Chick Corea, you name it. Bass, the baseball album where all the bass players got together to make their own album. Brunel, everyone.
All
and
right.
to my left here, my new best friend. We've worked with his company before, and my chance to meet him. We have Dolph Rempp, the founder and co-owner of SIR Studio Instrument Rentals, which you guys do a lot more live now than studio, but you started off in the studio. So.
Yes.
And from this point, I'm going to actually pass it on to Bunny. This is Bunny's, like inaugural hosting duties, and we're going to be doing a lot more with him because this man is exceptionally talented. He is not only a great bass player, but he is a mean chef, and I'm going to attest to that. I almost want to do a cooking show right now, Bunny.
Yeah. That's what it is. You just like the cooking. That's what it is. You got a sweet tooth and all that.
I do. Obviously, I'm not afraid of a little bit of a meal. Italian food we were talking about earlier.
Italian food, we love it.
Well,
delicious. I'm getting hungry talking about it.
Exactly.
So, Bunny, you've got almost a lifelong friendship with Dolph. You guys are out here to check out the Namm Show. Talk to each other about how all that started, some of the stories. I know Bunny told me there's some crazy stories we may not be able to tell in public, but maybe you can pry it out of you, Dolph. I don't know.
No, we can find a couple of good ones for the people. So this is the amazing Dolph. They have like a 15 location in America, for SIR.
Yeah.
So and that's the best place to rehearse. You can have any kind of instrument, the latest. They always have the thing. So. They do have the equipment and all that, and they actually employ musicians that are working,
Yes.
And these people know about the instruments and things like that. If you're a musician who doesn't have a job, maybe you want to call SIR and get work for SIR. So anyhow,
that's not a bad idea because that's. I know a lot of musicians have started their careers off that way. How did you two get to meet each other?
It's because it's all the fault of French champagne. I was in the entrance of SIR on the front, and I was looking. There's a collection of really rare champagne poster. So I was saying, who put all the thing? And I got introduced to Dolph. So that's how the friendship started. He opened a couple of bottles of champagne, and that's all he took.
That's all you need with this man.
Yeah, French people. You give them some champagne, and we're ready to go.
So Dolph, when you met Bunny first time, go ahead, man. Tell us your first thoughts of this crazy character, which is one of my best friends, by the way, guys. So we have that kind of.
Right off the bat, we had a lot in common. French champagne.
Yeah.
He knows all about it. My parents are from that area.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was very easy to get to know someone who enjoys what I enjoy, and as he said, I have a collection of champagne posters that over the years I've had. And
awesome.
Add to for the front of our area at SIR, which we use for a variety of shows, events, parties, celebrations, and usually champagne celebrations go good together.
Yes.
So that is our little theme in our area there, which we call the Maison de Champagne, which is between a couple of the studios, a very large studio, which is Studio 1, which is about 350 capacity. And then we have a smaller studio just off the bar area, which is our Stage 1, which we use for various types of events and celebrations, as well as production space for showcases, smaller showcases. And just a variety of rehearsal to anything you may need.
Yeah. Well, we've done a number of events, and we've had the blessing of using your gear. We work with, I'm going to shout out to James over at the San Diego chapter, man. You guys rock. We recommend you. Anybody in San Diego or not in San Diego, because Sometimes San Diego comes as far north as here. I know that they've worked with the Namm organization, and obviously LA comes down. So I know there's LA, San Diego, San Francisco, Nashville. What are the other locations?
Well, we're in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Beautiful city. Seattle, great, northwest area. And then we're also in Dallas, which is our newest location.
Okay.
And that services all the way down to Houston.
San Francisco.
San Francisco. We've been there for 50 years. And we have studios there. My son Dan is the guy there that takes care of everybody and looks after everybody, along with helping his friend Andre, who's in Seattle and does Portland, Seattle. Then we have Las Vegas. Lots of fun in Vegas.
Yeah, hey, there's conventions, and there's a lot of stuff that you can't mention outside of Vegas, so we won't talk about that. So,
yeah, we have a big sound stage there. We do a lot of big shows there.
awesome.
In the sound stage, as well as provide the production services for a lot of the well-known groups that are going on to perform in the casinos.
Awesome.
A lot of bands now have various contracts where they spend 2, 3, 4 months in one casino.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they usually come, get set up, get rehearsed, and then we bring them over to the casino, and they're there for the next 2 or 3, 4 months. And then, of course, also we use some of the space for the bands that live in Las Vegas that are now very well known, like the Killers,
Yeah,
big time band in Vegas.
they start off in Vegas.
Yeah, so there's like 4 or 5 very, very well known bands now that call their home Las Vegas, which is kind of unusual for rock bands.
Yeah, it's usually a little more loud.
So that's what happens there, and of course we have lots of business in all the big casinos. We go also a little outside of that area to various areas like the river areas where they have 2 or 3 different casinos down there, and also Searchlight. We go up to various parts of Utah because there's not a lot of services like ours around, so when a band's traveling they need usually backup.
Yeah.
So we'll end up going all over the area. But the one thing about Las Vegas that's always interesting is that not only is it a fabulous city with lots of fun, a lot going on, is we always are recruiting for musicians, particularly drummers, because drummers like to work real hard because they work real hard playing the drums.
I know you're trying to recruit Andy Zildjian just a minute ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Have Andy come work for you, even though he
Yeah.
runs Sabian, right?
But yeah, lots of opportunity for musicians that can play out at night as well as work during the day. So we are looking for particularly sound engineers, A1s, and keyboard guys. Also, drummers are very important to us because they're the only ones that really know all the bits and pieces.
You drum checking, and you guys do the best when it comes down to backline drums, so that is
Yeah.
definitely the case. Yeah. So, Bunny, you've used SIR many times, obviously. How's that experience been for you as you've traveled and toured the world?
Well, this you have like a rehearsal studios, and then you have SIR. The difference is it's like, as I say, very professional. If somebody, is setting up the drums, it's a drummer usually who does it, so he knows what he's doing. You're asking, people who are like, if you're renting a bass, it's always set up right, everything, the guitars, because they are musicians, they can try them, being sure everything is working. And that's something very important. You have people that are in the business that, providing the services, So, and it's always fun, the size, you can have the big room. I like the big room because it's like playing in front of a big audience. Killer sound system. The people who make the sound are really good. You really get the sound happening. So it's easy to practice because it sounds right, like you're on stage, It's not like playing in a little room and, it's always a stage with the monitors and things like that. So I'll recommend for people, that's the best place, and they're really nice people as well, so that's the place to go.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to actually have you ask him a question. What's the question that you've always wanted to ask him and put Bunny on the spot with? Right now, on Caffeine TV through our EnterTalk broadcasting.
How do you get free parking here at the Namm show?
Well, you have to have a media badge. That's the way to do it. So you have to ask him next time.
Yeah, well, we came today, and we were, how long did we truck before we actually got here? Was it 2 days, 3 days? I forgot. It was a long time in a long truck.
Oh, the traffic
we have
was
to
crazy.
park far away and use the Uber to come because it was impossible. But at least we made it, and here we are, you know. So
Yeah, you got to have your skateboard with you, so skate on in here.
You know what? There's a part where we were on Catella. We got here about 7:30, 7:45, and it was already packed out. We're on Catella, and it took us longer to go 2 miles than it did for us to go the 15 that we were at, where we had an Airbnb. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
And you want to get here because you want to see everything, you know. So it's an anxious moment or two, or hour or two, whatever it takes. Everybody is nervous and wants to get into the show because it's a goings-on. It is absolutely fabulous. That's all you can say.
Except for you and I are going to go in business with cappuccino machines, right?
Absolutely. I thought that right
Right-
here on
right
this
here,
little
you
turn in the big wide avenue here, you could probably sell $2,000 or $3,000 worth of cappuccino.
We
During
could
the day.
at $9 a pop, right?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I would like to, because, you know, Dolph has informations and he met people, all those great people that, you know, like Eric Clapton, you know, Jimi Hendrix. He knows them all because he helped them at the beginning when the people didn't know them.
Yeah.
And I would like to mention something. He's going to tell you what happened. It's just, it was the period where everybody wanted to have a pedal. You know, they came up with all those pedals, you know. And one day, you know, he was rehearsing over, you know, with Dolph, and asked Dolph, "Hey, Dolph, do you have a pedal?" And Dolph said, "Oh, try this." And he gave him a wah-wah, the first one. That's the man who gave the first wah-wah to Jimi Hendrix. And the thing went like, phew,
So how
like
does that
that.
feel
You know,
to be
Dolph
that guy that
Rempp is
created that?
responsible.
Well, you don't think
That
about it
impact.
at the time because everybody's kind of still in their, you know, beginnings, you know. And when I first met Jimi Hendrix and his band, they actually showed up in front of the studio in an old beat-up Chevy Econoline.
Now, was this before?
This is 1967.
Had he made it to UK yet, or?
This is when he was coming over to the United States to do his tour, his first tour. So when they show up, you know, they don't show up in, you know, 2 or 3 trucks with 30 roadies.
Yeah.
You know, everybody is on it. They open the door and out comes the stuff being pulled around by the band members. So that's just like any group that starts out. You know, they start off, they come to Hollywood, and they have to start from the bottom and work their way up. Of course, it didn't take Jimi Hendrix long to work to his way up, but I mean, we have those people all day, every day coming to SIR in Hollywood to kind of be in the area where it's all happening and see if they can't make their band happen. And as I said, a lot of those people that are in those bands end up working for us because, you know, it does take a little time and there's not too many gigs during the day. It's usually nighttime, so it gives opportunity for them to work at SIR, meet other musicians, particularly ones that are playing. When they go out to do shows, they do the tech work, which means they bring the drums in, set them all up, and stay for the show in case something goes wrong. And it always does go wrong, so it's always good that there is somebody there.
Oh, trust me.
And you can't imagine how many things there are on a stage nowadays with a couple of techs trying to look after everything, make sure the show goes off.
It's crazy.
So that's an opportunity for people that are looking for a job to have a job where you actually meet musicians, actually work with them, and get to know some of the better known musicians that are out there playing.
I hear you.
SIR is a good place to start if you're looking for a job, particularly audio. Audio is kind of a very important component of what we do nowadays, and we have what we consider the very best audio equipment in our studios, which is the D&B made in Germany, as well as the variety of digital equipment, you know, that we use for mix consoles. So it does take a little bit of study and a lot of experience to learn your way through these various, very technically orientated sound equipment.
So it kind of brings up a good topic here. Both of you, we all come from a little bit more of the older school of the music business. With this new music business that we've had, Dolph, how does that impacted your business? Because musicians now make most of their income, and I think Bunny can attest to this, from their live shows, right?
Yeah.
So they either are practicing or they're having to play live.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's why a lot of people actually go rehearse, because before musicians used to sell albums.
Yeah.
Now they're giving like $10 a month to some companies. I'm not going to mention, and then they can listen to any records anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
So they don't buy them.
Yeah.
So, and those people unfortunately are not really paying much to the musicians. So the only thing left for musicians to make a living is to go on tour. So everybody is going on tour, So it's just the choice is quite amazing nowadays, because all the big guys are on tour, because that's the only way they're gonna be. And to give you an idea, just like some artists, I'm not gonna mention names, that I played with, that used to make a 30 grand, 50 grand a gig in 1980, are making 10,000 a gig now, because they have so much choice. The price went down to the ground. They're not making the money they used to make, so they have to keep going more and more and more and more. It's kind of sad.
There's definitely has to be some adaptation to the way the industry has been, how it is now, and where it needs to go. What's your thoughts on that, Dolph?
I think it's very cool for musicians now. I mean, all I used to hear when we first started, which was basically doing equipment for recording, was the record company was not putting enough support behind the record that just came out for the group or whatever. Well, that was not really what they could do. They had 200 or 300 artists signed to their label, so they were going to concentrate on the 2 or 3 dozen that were selling records. Nowadays, the artists can promote themselves through the internet and through the social media, and that really helps people who like that music to know where they're going to be playing and be able to have that information. They don't need to advertise. All they need to do is send to the musicians information about where we're going to be tonight, or where we're going to do a show just like this. So in one way, yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but in another way, it really gives the ones that really want to go out there and play, really love playing, really love entertaining, it really gives them an opportunity to entertain just about as much as they want, and also let everyone that likes their music know where they're playing.
Yeah.
So it's a self-promotion thing, and some of these groups have 500,000 followers. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's what they have musicians to change the way they're looking at things. They have to go through the new system. You have to be on the internet and putting things, because, as he said, the record company used to do that for the artists they wanted to do, but now you can do it yourself. You can even hire a company that's going to put you, for like a minimum price, and put you everywhere on the internet for people to know that you're playing. So this is true.
I 100% agree. So I'm going to ask one last question for you both. For the viewing audience and listening audience, Bunny, what do you want them to take away from your career? I mean, it's probably like another hour time frame, but your career in this business, what do you want to share with some of the younger viewing audience? And then I'm going to pose that to you, some of the bands that are coming up. What's one key piece of advice that you want to help them with? So Bunny first.
Well, the importance when it comes to art and actually everything, you have to do what you like to do, and don't listen to the other people, because that's their beliefs.
Yes.
Have your own belief. Do whatever excites you, and the universe is going to put you at the right spot. If you start to listening to the other people, you're listening to their beliefs.
Yeah.
You don't be a belief thief. Just to keep going for what you want and do the best you can at it, and that's the way to be successful. Don't try to copy somebody, or it's do what you think you want to do the way you want to do it, they would be the best, you know. Of course, there's some logical thing. If somebody told you, you know, hey, don't put your hand on the grill where you're going to burn yourself. Okay, you can listen to the person. You understand? I'm talking about your life.
Universal givens.
Yes, your life is your life, and it's the way you want it to happen that makes the difference. If you do like everybody else, then you're going to be like everybody else. No, no, no. Be yourself. Do what you believe and keep doing it the way you want to do it. Look at, you know, he decided to do the thing with the rehearsal, which was a great idea, you know. Nobody told him to do that. Look at the success. Amazing, you know. Why? Because he had that idea and he went for it. Nobody told him what to do, he just did it. You know, that's the proof alive right there, you know. Same thing for me playing the bass. I didn't want to be, I had no idea I was going to play with Chick Corea, Herbie Hancock, Tony Williams, Wayne Shorter, Dizzy Gillespie. I had no idea, but I wanted to play the bass. I wanted to do something the way I wanted to do it. People used to play bass solos like ding bong, ding bong, bong, bong. No, I wanted to solo like Herbie, like a Coltrane on the bass. So I was just practicing, you know, on the electric and the acoustic to play like that. And I ended up playing, you know, with Chick Corea and all that because I was different. It was not like anybody else. And people also, when Stanley Clarke left to do his own band, Chick Corea was looking somebody to replace him. He saw me at the Ronnie Scott Club in London. He said, "Oh, that's the guy," because it was different. You understand? So, "Oh, that's the guy I need to replace Stanley Clarke." And that's why I tell people, no, do the thing you want to do it your way and keep going at it with no expectation, because you don't know what the universe is going to put you in front. Just do it your way and no expectation.
Dolph, your
Yes.
thoughts?
Well, what we try to do at SIR, particularly myself, is try to welcome musicians. In other words, if somebody's starting out or somebody's at the top of the game, they know they always got a place they can go where there's other musicians who understand and know probably about the same what they know. Good place to meet up, talk, rehearse, as we said, do a showcase, or any other thing that you may do, whether it's a video shoot, recording, etc. So that's why we're there. We're there to kind of be the representative that no matter what city that we're in, we're always welcoming and always let people know that if they have anything they need, just give us a call. And if we don't know or have it, we can tell them, hey, this is where you go to get that. Yeah. And so that's what we kind of pride ourselves, trying to help people, because we like to help people. It's nice. It's nice to be nice.
Well, that's the one thing I think, and we'll kind of leave it at that because that's perfect close. This music community has to be more supportive. The days of the individuals and the guys who are their lone wolves or their own islands, those days are gone. We all have to work together. We all have to come together to build a better community, figure out where this next generation is going. So with that said, gentlemen, Bunny, Dolph, I appreciate you guys more than you know. I appreciate what you've done for the industry, Dolph, and then Bunny, I appreciate what you've done for my bank account. Bunny's the reason why I spent a lot of money on gear. I just had to shout that out with everybody here.
Sorry.
All the guitar stuff I ever bought, bass stuff, it's because Bunny was the guy who instigated. It's like, this is a great amp. Okay, I got to go buy that because Bunny says it's a great amp. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I just have to cook for you a little more. That's what it is.
So this has been EnterTalk on Caffeine TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. We've got more interviews to come. So signing out for this moment.
Thank
you
you
very much. Thank you.
Awesome.